Money Radio, discussing the business of making and spending money.
Good day to all of you following us on Leadership Podcast. You're welcome to another edition of Money Radio. Money Radio brings you issues concerning the Nigerian economy and financial issues. You're welcome. We sincerely apologize again for being late. Today on Money Radio, we are discussing an issue which gave us some joy sometime last year in the midst of the sadness of COVID-19. But that joy has been short-lived up to now as we speak, because the issue was that the Nigerian government was collaborating with the German government and a German company, Siemens. Yes, they were supposed to build the transmission and distribution infrastructure of Nigeria to produce or to deliver up to 7,000 megawatts of electricity by December this year and 11,000 by December 2023. We haven't seen that yet. We haven't seen signs. So, my name is Kes Hammond. I'm your host, and in the studio with me to discuss the touchy issue is Mr. Anthony Uko. Mr. You're welcome.
Thank you. It's good to be here again.
Yeah, thanks very much. So, last year when the press secretary to the president, Ajuri Ngaleli, he was the one who had that interview, gave that press interview, and then he explained that the Nigerian government had already gone into that agreement with the German government, and a German company, Siemens, would overhaul the infrastructure or the power infrastructure of Nigeria, that is transmission and distribution. Before now, the federal government had really invested much in power. Beginning sometime around 2005, they started building gas turbines. The power generation has actually gone from a pitiable 3,000 thereabout to 13,000 as we speak. 13,000 power generation or capacity to generate 13,000 megawatts.
Capacity.
Yes, but that capacity remains grossly underutilized because no matter what is generated, it's almost impossible to transmit or to distribute. And that is what Siemens was supposed to come and do to improve on the transmission and distribution infrastructure of Nigeria. And by this time, we would have been talking about 6,005, and by December, 7,000 megawatts. Galeli also said that all the feasibility study had been done, the finances were ready. We have seen nothing. What is going on? If you have anything to say about that, please bring it out with your mind and your heart. What is going on?
Well, when the news was very gladdening to hear that in a very short while, the electricity generation and distribution in the country would increase from what we have been seeing. We have been on in the neighborhood of 4,000 megawatts for a very long time, despite, like you said, the generation capacity is in the neighborhood of 13,000 megawatts. And when that deal came, it appeared too cut and dried to be Nigerian, sort of, if I may put it that way.
Please explain that.
You know how long it usually takes for projects to be executed here, and so on, all the bureaucratic bottlenecks that go with it, especially where contracts are involved. But all this were to be eliminated within the process, and it would just be the federal government would transfer money to
the German credit agency.
The German credit agency, who would in turn transfer the money to Siemens Energy, and then the project would be online. It was, like I said, Too good to be true.
Ngaleli said, that is Ajuri. Ajuri said, there will be no middlemen. There will be no no local contractors. He said everything will be the German government and the Nigerian government. Look, the thing was, like you said, it sounded. Let me let you on into something. I am hurt. You know why?
Why?
I wrote that story. I analyzed that story, and people doubted that this thing would happen. I defended the government that this is a novel. Listen,
Okay.
I said this is a novel approach to executing contracts.
Projects.
Yes, and that this is being the first time, and I said that it was the best. And then after face to face attacking and counter attacking people who were doubting. Yes.
That it will happen.
Not only did I reply them verbally, I went and wrote another story. Why this thing must happen? Why it cannot fail? And people can still attack me, say, "Look, this is government; it will fail." I still not only that I answered them again, I went and wrote. Further convincing people that this thing would never fail because it was a novel and it made so much sense.
Of course, it made a whole lot of sense. And from what I get to see now, that was how the German government wanted it to go. They wanted to ensure that all the bureaucracy that comes with Nigerian government executing a project that had to do with local contractors and the rest, that all of that was completely eliminated. But this has not, this didn't go down well with a whole lot of people. Like, for instance, now Nigeria is grappling with issues of unemployment. And if this deal had gone like that, cut and dried, all well and good, Nigeria would have enjoyed the power. There would be more electricity. We'll be able to increase from the current 4,000 megawatts to 7,000 by the end of this year. However, Nigeria would not really benefit so much in the times of the impact, the direct impact in manpower, the direct impact in terms of employment, getting people engaged in that project. It will be a purely foreign thing.
I don't get you.
Okay.
I don't get you. Let's break this down. Are you saying the contract did not go ahead because there was an issue of local content?
Yes, of course. Like there's been a lot of renegotiation of that deal. I guess I don't know. I wouldn't know whether there was some kind of pressure, because the bulk of the funding was to come from the German government.
80%.
80%. It's not quite clear. There are varying accounts on the exact percentage, but the bulk of the financing for the deal is to come from the German government. And then I'm sure they must have stipulated that there won't be any local content in terms of the contracts, the labor, everything. And this along the line didn't go down well with because like
relax. Let me ask you a question again. I listened to that interview.
Yes.
Clearly from Ngaleli.
Yes.
He said 61 billion naira
Yes.
had already been allocated to be sent to that German credit agency, which was 20% of that amount.
Okay.
The remaining 80% would come from the German government through that credit agency, and everything will go to Siemens.
Okay.
Ngeleli boasted that there will be no middlemen. He even said, and I want to no, let me not, I can't say I'm quoting him, but I'm paraphrasing him. He said that contrary to previous times where you have lack of standard, where maybe this product will be made in India, the other one made in China, so they don't have there is no fixed standard. He said everything will be done by Siemens. They will produce their equipment in Germany, bring the equipment down to Nigeria, and just do installation. So there was no issue of local content there. There was no issue of local content. He said there will be no middlemen. He said there will be nothing. It will be purely a Nigerian German negotiation, which he said was already. So where did that go? Who came and started talking about local content?
Well, I wouldn't know. I'm not a government official, and I am not in their midst when these discussions are being brought up. But I can tell you that there has been renegotiations of the terms, and that is what has dragged the matter, the commencement. The government right now says that after renegotiations and then reaching agreements, that they've just signed the pre-engineering stage, and that was just last month, September.
So you are telling me that 2021 December is no longer tenable?
I'm not amongst those executing the project. So I am telling you what has been what they told us at what point they are at right now. There were renegotiations, and the government said they were carrying out due diligence on the offer and everything to ensure that they were getting value for money. And mind you, there was also the issue of funding. That money may have been provided for, as in budgeted in
Yes.
the 2020 budget,
Yes.
provided for, but it was not backed, cash backed. There's a difference between making provision for spending that would come up, and then providing the cash backing for it, making the cash available. So those are two things entirely. And within when that budget was prepared and when, as we speak, there's been a lot of changes that has happened in the exchange rate scenario. So these monies
So
are no longer.
if that were a priority, all this borrowing we are doing, don't you think we will have borrowed for that project also? There are some things that
That's what I'm telling. That's exactly what I'm telling you. It came like a German proposed. That's what I believe. It was a German proposed project.
If there was no agreement, then there was no need for federal government
To come out and announce it like that and get everyone's hope high. So that. But of course, this is Nigeria, and at the end of the day, a whole lot of issues will come in so long as the project is to be executed here in Nigeria, and so on. So that is where we're at. The government says the project is still on ground, that COVID-19 affected it, and like you pointed out, the equipment were to be brought in from outside. All the manufacturing and everything of what is needed was to be manufactured outside and shipped in. And because there were no enough movements, were restricted to some extent, that had not the project could not be expedited on.
These things have
it's-
implications.
Of course, they have
And the implication
implications.
I would like to point out is this kind of delays.
Mm.
There's like delaying prosperity. I'll put it like that. Delaying progress.
Progress,
Uh-huh.
sure.
Now, not just progress, but prosperity. Oh, what 7,000? We are battling with 4,000 megawatts. Do you know what 7,000 megawatts or 11,000 megawatts will do for this economy? And
Of course,
that,
it will do
you know,
much.
with
It
that
will do
kind
much
of
for
offer, no matter what, it
businesses
shouldn't
and-
be delayed. It's disheartening. That's the much we can take today. Sorry again, we came late to the show. Um, this issue, we shall discuss it again.
Of course.
We shall discuss it again. It's a touchy issue, and let's hope that we'll hear from government cycles before we
Before
talk
then,
about this
of
issue
course.
again. Because
Of course.
yeah,
Sure, because if government says they've been they've been doing a lot of work behind the scene,
yeah,
let's hope that now that they are coming outside the scene,
second coming.
yes, second coming, that everything will be expedited, and before the year ends, Nigerians can begin to see at least
You're talking about this year?
yes, of course.
I forget.
Okay,
That's the
you are
most
no
we can
longer
take. That's the much we can take, our listeners. Do join us again for another bumper edition of Morning Radio tomorrow, and stay with us every weekday. Yeah, for Morning Radio. You on this radio, you or on this show, you are kept abreast of happenings, things that matter to the Nigerian economy. So we say continue to be with us. So we say thank you to you. Say thank you to our producers, and to you again. We say remain blessed until we see tomorrow. Have a nice day.